Hey everybody, welcome to the very first THW NHL News and Rumors Rundown video series. We're going to be doing this once a week, probably every Saturday, where we're going to go through the news and rumors in hockey, the NHL, the biggest stories of the week. We're going to be relaying that for you here. So we got tons to talk about in terms of the NHL. My name is Jim Parsons. You can catch me over at thehockeyraiders.com writing articles about news and rumors in hockey every day. I focus a lot about the Edmonton Oilers. But I cover as much ground as I can in terms of hockey news and rumors. And we're going to be doing that on a video series every week, and this is the first of it. So I hope you guys enjoy. Feel free to put your comments in there. Let us know what you think about some of these news and rumors, articles, and stories. And check out everything at thehockeyraiders.com. But we're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff right now. So first things first, we're going to be dealing with Nick Robertson from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Basically, the story is this. This is the kid who's going to really try hard to make it the Toronto Maple Leafs roster this year, and because of that, he's not going to be joining Team USA at the World Junior Tournaments. So basically, there was a ton of talk, there was a ton of speculation that he would go, he wanted to go. The team actually wanted him to be there, but the problem was World Juniors interfered with NHL training camps based on the dates that were proposed between the NHL and the NHLPA. Now that Robertson is not guaranteed a spot on the Maple Leafs roster, he is going to focus his priority on making the Maple Leafs team. So he's not going to be attending the Team USA camp. He's not going to be at the World Junior Tournament. He's going to be focused on his NHL dubs. So it's kind of a bummer for Team USA, who released their roster today on Saturday. He's not on it. So there's a kind of a missing piece there for USA. He was a big part of it last year. But we're going to see what he does in Toronto and whether or not he makes the team. Moving on over to Vegas, there was talk this week from TSN's Frank Saravalli that the Vegas Golden Knights were willing to move. In fact, they were doubling down on their efforts to trade forward Max Pacioretty from the Golden Knights. Apparently, the story is the Vegas Golden Knights wanted to clear up cap space and get into the market to play with some of these free agents that are still out there that could be bargain deals. Vegas is always in. As we know, they signed Alex Pietrangelo this offseason. Needed the money, found the money, and they're a team that likes to play. They want to add pieces. If they see an opportunity, they're going to go for it. They're going to move money out. Pacioretty makes about $7 million a season, so he might not be the easiest player in the world to move, but there's going to be some teams that are interested. We already have a list of them. The Penguins are in there, the Kings are in there, maybe the Bruins. Could be somebody like Nashville, Columbus. Red Wings have space, but we don't really know exactly where Pacioretty's going to wind up. The owner of the Vegas Golden Knights did say, no, we are not shopping Max Pacioretty. So he made that clear. They're not actively looking to trade him, but apparently they're probably listening to offers, because I don't imagine Saravalli's report is totally inaccurate. So if the Golden Knights can trade him, or a team comes calling and they can get rid of Pacioretty, free up some cap space, they're probably going to do it. The question is, I wonder why. This is a 32 goal scorer. He's really, really hot. Maybe they figure he's aging, he's not going to be part of their long-term future. I don't really know. Or maybe they think they do better and they have to move money out anyway because they are over the salary cap. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that one, see which teams become part of the conversation, and whether or not the Golden Knights actually move Pacioretty or not. All right, let's move on to Canada and talk of the NHL 2020-21 alignment, the divisions, an all-Canadian division. There's some talk about the Vancouver Canucks and some debate about where they might fit with this thing. And talk is that if the Vancouver Canucks are going to be competitive in the all-Canadian division, they might be one of the first teams to make a trade in the offseason or stack their roster a little bit better, because they're not the deepest team in the Canadian team or the Canadian teams when it comes to the NHL. So there's talk about that one. What they would do, I don't really know, but they rank really well in the top six in both forwards and defense, but their depth is a question mark. And as far as the NHL realignment goes, that's still a big conversation around the league about whether or not teams are going to stay in certain divisions or go in certain places. In St. Louis and Dallas, some other teams might be moved around and juggled. There's lots of conversations going on there. We do know the all-Canadian division is probably happening, so it'll be very interesting to see how teams stack up. But if anybody makes a trade right away, it's probably the Vancouver Canucks. Keep this in mind too. Trades are going to be a lot more difficult in the NHL season because of the fact that you can't necessarily move somebody from Canada to the U.S. or the U.S. to Canada without the quarantine issue, traveling over the borders. So we might not see as much, but the NHL did say they're not going to put any restrictions on trades, which means that you can make any trades you want to. You're just going to have to follow the protocols in the NHL safety, COVID pandemic stuff. So we'll see how many trades get done before the season kicks off. Now that the NHL and the NHLPA have kind of worked out their financial issues, I'm expecting there's going to be a few trades and some moves here happening in the next couple weeks. All right, the Ottawa Senators. they're in the news. Eugene Melnyk, of course, is always talking about his team. He says already that the Ottawa Senators are competitive enough to be in the playoffs. Not only that, but they could win a Stanley Cup right away if they can add a couple veteran pieces and do a couple things to kind of put them over the hump. He says they've done the hard part. In fact, that they're not going to be sellers at this year's trade deadline. He didn't say they'd be buyers, but he did not say they were going to dump off. It almost sounds like Melnyk doesn't think they're a rebuilding team anymore. Now, maybe this is just something he's saying so that the market will buy into this whole Ottawa Senators is better than everybody thinks they are, and they have some good young pieces, including somebody like Brady Tkachuk, but they're probably not a competitive team. Most insiders have them finishing last in an all-Canadian division. Maybe they'll be better than everybody expects. Maybe they'll surprise some people, but I don't think Melnyk is probably on target here when he says that they're competitive enough to make the playoffs and potentially win the Stanley Cup already. Seems pretty crazy to me. All right, some Boston Bruins news. Looks like they're going to maybe continue to hunt for a defenseman. One of the stories out there now is potentially that they could offer a PTO to somebody like Carl Alzner. He's a veteran defenseman, used to play with the Canadians, kind of worked his way down to the minors based on his contract. He's now free and clear to sign with anybody. He probably might not sign with anybody, but a PTO is an opportunity. Even the Oilers might be a part of that thing. So there's some question marks about how Boston is going to fill the holes left by Torrey Krug. He departed at free agency to St. Louis. Can Carl Alzner come in and be a part of the Boston Bruins roster? Would he help some young guys move along, take bigger steps, have more responsibility on the team? I don't know if he's the exact guy. I don't know if Boston Bruins is going to actually do a PTO, but that's the talk. That's the buzz that maybe there's a PTO coming in Boston. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the very first episode of the THW NHL News and Rumors Rundown. Check out all the articles at thehockeyraters.com. You can go to at The Hockey Rater on Twitter, the Facebook page, The Hockey Raters, and of course, you can check me out on Twitter as well. And all my articles at thehockeywriters.com. Thanks again, you guys. We hope you have a good one. Take care, and we'll talk to you next week.